Good morning, good morning, good morning. And you know what time it is. It's time for Conversations with Renee. And baby, I told you, I know some amazing people. So we have amazing conversations.
Yeah.
So this morning, we are talking to pastry chef Jaynine. Now, doesn't that sound all good, y'all? I know I just got your mouth all watering over the radio and everything. Pastry chef. We talking about goodies, goodies, goodies. And we're going to be
Hey.
talking about some good conversation. Now, we started this conversation before y'all, right? And we was
Yeah.
going in like the go in. So, Sister Janine,
Yes.
good
Yeah.
morning, baby. How
Good
are
morning.
you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm so appreciative for you to even have me on this morning. I'm a pastry
Listen.
chef and I love what I do and
And
bake
she's
all the
good at what she
goodies.
do. Okay.
And thank you. Praise Jesus. Thank you. And I've been baking forever and I love what I do. My business name, of course, is Tailor Made Creations for All Occasions Incorporated. And I bake all types of sweeties, everything from ice
Ooh.
cream straight down to brownies to cookies to pies.
Ooh, baked ice cream. That
I
sounds so
do,
good.
yes, I do brownies and you name it, I do it basically. And I do gluten free, sugar
Ooh,
free,
come on. Come
vegan,
on.
nut free, and of course, vegan, because we have to get people who,
Absolutely.
their health may not be all the way up to par, but they should
Absolutely.
not be denied a baked goodie
But let me
just
tell you,
because
you
of
you
that.
you
Yes,
did all that free. You got the nut free, gluten free, and
yes,
all that. But I'm gonna tell you what it's not. It's not
yes,
taste free, baby. It's
yes.
tasty. Okay.
And yeah, period. I love it. I love it. Like, I always say, make my product, I taste it. If it's not what if it's not good to me, I'm not serving it.
I know that's right.
Because if things, you still want to have you want to be healthy, but still has to have that taste to
Absolutely.
it. You know
And
what I
that's a
mean? I
lot of
don't like
things. A lot of people get turned off by some of the healthy things, or
yes,
we're going to talk about that for a minute. But some of the things that deem healthy, it's like one of the turnoffs is it's like it's nasty. And things that are
yes,
healthy for your body,
yes,
for your, for
yes,
your whole makeup, does
yes.
not have to be
It doesn't.
tasteless.
Yes, exactly. It has to be a balance. I tell people that all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's not, I mean, it just has to have that. It's not going to taste like the original,
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed. We know that. But if you can come close to that, it's perfect. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely.
Just for them to, get that. Sometimes you just want that little sugar thing. And
Hmm.
sugar is very addictive.
It
But
really is.
it's
And it
it's
really
so
is.
addictive. You
Mm-hmm.
wean yourself over that for 2 or 3 days, you're gonna have a headache of all headaches.
But we was
So
talking
after,
earlier, and I want to go back to that because you said a
yes,
word. These are two words that I like to really I really like to talk about, and we're gonna go there.
yes,
But you're talking about the
mhm,
sweets and stuff, right? It's
yes.
good. It's okay to have something sweet,
Yes.
but we
Oh,
have to use this word. And this, I say, these are we. I talk about profanity words, right? And
yes.
sometimes we have words that are profane or profanity words that are really
Mhm.
not. They're just misused or misconstrued or
Yes,
misunderstood. And when we
yes.
want something sweet, there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what? We
Not at
have to
all.
have this big word, discipline.
Discipline, moderation,
Yes. Yeah,
maybe you want to spend the
responsible.
day responsible,
Hmm.
accountability for,
Yes.
you want to do this, getting healthy. I'm not gonna say diet because that's too strong of a word.
Hmm.
Life change, we'll use
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, because diet
Um,
is restriction, and we want to
yes,
do things that we have for life, for the rest of our
yes,
life,
for
not
life.
be
So,
restricted. Yeah,
and I feel like if you start early, it's just the starting. That's the problem.
absolutely.
Once you start, you get on the bandwagon, you're good.
Once
But you
you
have
get
to start.
started. Okay.
Period. Come on now, girl. Period. Once you start, you're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a whole starting process. And just say, you know what? Instead of having a half a gallon of ice cream, I'm gonna have a half cup. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything in moderation. I have my best friend. She'll buy a whole bunch of brownies from me. She'll
Hmm.
take one brownie out on Monday. She'll cut it in 4 pieces or 6 pieces, and she
Love
has
it.
a piece a day.
Love
So,
it.
it's just all I told her, I said, at times I'm not that disciplined. I can be disciplined. It's
Hmm.
all a mindset change, honestly, truth be
Absolutely.
told.
I really like
It's a
that. It
mindset
is.
change.
It definitely is
Once
a
you do
mindset
that,
change.
you're golden. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But you have to
Yes.
want to change. And that goes
Ooh.
everything in life,
That
right?
right there, you gotta want to change. That's a big one
You
right
have
there. You know what
to.
I'm saying?
Yes, you have to
Because a
want
lot
to.
of times that is the huge part. That's the
Yes,
hurdle to get
that's
over
the hurdle.
in anything. You have to
Yep,
want to. That's
anything.
it.
And if otherwise you're going to continue to blame, continue to point fingers,
Hmm.
not take accountability. You're going to be on this merry-go-round and it's gonna snowball into nothing. You know what I
Say
mean?
that.
All because it starts with you. I said, if
Say
you want
that.
things to change, it starts with you. So
Absolutely.
once you do that, you're golden. But if
So
you
let
don't
me
want to
ask
change,
you.
that's fine. Go
So,
ahead.
so let me
I'm sorry.
ask you, let me
Mhm,
ask you, pastry
mhm.
chef Janine, how did you
Yeah,
get started though with doing it? Like we talking about once you get
yeah,
started, how did you
yes.
get started
Okay,
in
so it's so
this?
funny. My grandmothers, my mom, thank you for asking me that. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
My grandmothers, my great grandmother, my grandmothers, and my mom always baked. I'm the oldest of four children, four girls. None of them cook or bake. I do
Get
all of
out
it.
of here.
All of it. Crazy, right? But true.
Right? I hear you. I hear you.
I made my first cake at 10 years old.
Oh wow.
And when I was in school, they had, shop class. So you know this was years ago, girl.
Yeah, because they don't even
And
offer good stuff like
they don't
that
make
no
no
more.
So we had ceramics, sewing, woodworking, cooking, and there was a few others. So I decided to take cooking. So at the end of that class, I decided to make a cake. My mom told me do not use large chocolate chips. I opted to anyway. Of course, the cake was like wonk wonk. I said, Mom, I know what I can do. I can get doilies. This is all at like 11 years old, right? I can get doilies. She was like, doilies. I said, I'm going to frost the cake. I'm going to slice it up, put it in slices, and put it on doilies. And from then on, I've been hitting the ground running. And that's when I was like, okay. But it's so funny. You get older, you go through things and yada yada. Went to college, went to HBCU, and
Where'd you go?
I was just like, Norfolk State University.
Okay, okay, come on
And went there for like 2 years and then came home.
now.
And because I wanted to take social work, sociology, I said, I want to help people with their problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got there, I said, I have my own problems. This is not going to work. Um, and that was the end of that. I was like, no. So I came back home, worked at the library, and then decided to go back to school after all these years. Went back, graduated, cum laude,
Okay,
and hospitality
okay. Listen,
management.
don't
Did
you
double.
whisper that, baby. That's an accomplishment. Don't you go whispering no.
Yeah, I went back to school. My parents was like, "We're not paying this time. You got to pay for yourself." So I was working full time, going to school full time. Thank
Uh-huh.
God I have no kids, so I'm good. But it was
Okay.
just like school work, because I was focused. When you're younger, sometimes you like going to school
Come
because your
on.
parents tell you have to go to school.
Come on.
You
Wait a
know what
minute.
I
That's
mean?
another one of them dirty words.
Come
That's
on,
not really a dirty word.
come on now.
Focus.
Come on. Yes. So it's like, you want to do what you want to do. And, that's what I did. So
Oh
then
my
going
God.
back, I was really, really focused. Child. So then I graduated and got my degree, and I, I've been hitting the ground running ever since. I, did events at my job, corporate. Um, People call me for baby showers, weddings, bridal
Mm.
showers. And then,
Speaking of which, my birthday is November the 7th, so we may
oh,
have to talk about some stuff.
oh,
Yeah,
yes,
because
we might have
listen,
to put this up.
this is my double nickel year. So,
Oh,
I
wow.
am
Okay.
excited about it and I want
Oh,
to do
really?
something all month. So, with that discipline and
Oh,
all that, I might look have to get a cake from you and
yes.
look and take just a piece or a corner of it every day. So
Yes.
that's
It's
30
just,
days in the month to
honey,
just eat
come
off of
on now.
something. Now that
Well,
right
it can
there,
be,
okay?
and you know what? And I'm with you, and I believe that it can be done, and it will
Oh,
be done.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
totally. And I was doing things at my church. I'm the head of hospitality at my church, so I would, give big events there. We would have barbecues, cook every Sunday, and
Hmm.
that's what I did. And then after I moved to Atlanta in 2020,
Hmm. Hey,
and I
I came
began
here in
doing
2022. Okay,
oh,
okay.
really?
We was making moves
And
together.
come on now, I didn't even know, but God knew. How about
That's
that?
absolutely that
Here he
part.
is.
That part.
So, I'm here, and I was like, Lord, I said, you want to move to Atlanta? Oh, no. He's like, yeah, your time is up in New York. I was like, oh, no, 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 you can't be serious. He was like, yeah, your time is up.
Wow, wait a minute. Wait, I got to
Um,
stop you right there because
yes,
I talk about assignments because people always
yes,
ask, "Well, why did you move to different states or whatever the case may be?"
yes,
And I'm like because I listened to the voice of God and he told me
yes,
when my assignment was up.
yes.
And I think that that is very purposeful for
Oh,
people
my
and we've
gosh.
got to talk to
Yes,
people about that because
yes,
sometimes we stay in places too
yep.
long. That
Come
may be a
on.
relationship, that
Come
may be a
on.
job, that
Yep.
might even be a church. You understand what I'm saying?
Period.
We stay too
Period.
long because we don't
Period.
understand one what our assignment is and then number two
Period.
when it's over.
When
And
it's
so
over.
when people are like, oh my God, like you were just doing so well at such and such and then you just up and left. I kind of didn't
Yep.
up and leave. What I
Right.
did was I listened to the voice of my
Listen.
father who was leading me on
Come
to my
on.
next assignment.
It's
And
about
when you're operating
obedience.
in your assignment, you're
Come on.
operating in purpose. And when you're
Come on.
operating in
Come
purpose,
on.
on purpose, for purpose, you feel good
Mm.
about yourself.
Preach,
You don't go
preach,
to where you
preach.
depressed and where you got PTSD and where you got
Come on,
anxiety. Why? Because you're operating in
come on,
purpose. You understand
come
what I'm
on.
saying?
Preach, preach, preach. I tell people that all the time. But a lot of people won't understand that if you're not in a relationship with Christ.
Yeah,
How about
yeah,
that?
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's
because
true.
for
That's
them, it's
true.
about Christian, it's about religion. I said, no, it's about
Oh, you talking my
relationship.
language right here. Come on, sis.
So when you have a relationship with Christ, you want to be obedient because when you do things your way, um, it'll never
Yes.
work out because you kind of
Yeah.
take him out of the equation because you want to control things
Listen,
because
cause
you probably
sis,
been through some things
he is
and
the
you
king, but he
experienced
not
some
Burger King.
things.
You can't have it your
Come
way.
on, you can't have it your way, and he will shut it down. When I tell
Okay.
you, shut it all the way down. So I said, I'm really tired of doing that, so I'm gonna listen. And I cried every day packing up.
Mm-mm.
I have family who live here, my sisters, my brother-in-laws, my mom and dad. They were there. And my sister said to me when I told her I'm moving down, she said, "I'll believe it when I see it." When the truck came to the front of the house, she's like, "Oh, I guess I should believe it." Yes, you should. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Because at that
wait.
point, yes,
Janine, wait, wait. First of all, I gotta stop and say this, right? Because
yes.
first of all, I love hearing this New York accent, but I just want to say this, right? And then I'm gonna have to give you look, I'm gonna have to give you my New York accent, and you gotta tell me if it sounds authentic or not, right? So check it out. So
Yes.
I get on here and I'm a fast talker individual, and I have to sometimes slow it down. So I'm laughing because as we going on, I'm like, okay, this is a sister that can hang with me. Like we going, right? So
Yeah.
listen, I spent many of my years in New York. Now I always tell
Ooh.
my listeners my stories, right? Now, I don't know what part of
Yeah.
New York you were in. I'm gonna ask you in a minute, but
Okay.
every summer I went to New York. So I would go up
Wow.
there with my cousins and my friends and stuff like that, and I stay all summer because I have
Mm.
family there. So
Yeah.
that's where, like, so here I'm gonna go ahead and give you my New York
Yeah.
accent, right? So all the time I
I
would
love
go there, they would be like, "Oh my God, you so country. You all be talking about
it.
like dogs. That's not a what is a dog?" And she was like, "It's a dog." And then you call people berry. What is a berry? It's a berry. And like so we were up there, and we would play double dutch because I was little, and I'm going up there and
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm doing something, Janine, right? I'm like I'm first.
Yeah.
Girl, by the time it got to me, I was like number four. They was like zero. They was like Mary. They was like Jesus no higher. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, I was supposed to be first. Why am I almost
Yeah.
last now? All right. Like, what is
Yeah.
going on here? And then when
Yeah.
they would talk about my hair, they like, what are you doing? What is that? I was like, what is that wrapped around your head? She was like, girl, that's a doobie. I was like, in Baltimore, we call it a wrap. What is that right there? So do I,
Boy.
is my accent on point? Is my accent on
On
point?
point. It's on point. It's on point. Even when you said New York, YAWK, girl, you sound like them, girl. You did it. You did it. You did it. You
Okay.
did it. I will tell you. I will
Okay.
tell you. You hit all points on that.
Okay.
Because they were like, can you repeat that? I'm like, no.
That is so
Can you say
funny.
walk? Can
Yes.
you say talk? Can and
Can
I'm
you
like,
talk? Yeah. Can
no.
listen. Yeah. Yo, what are you talking about? Yo, you
I'm like,
bugging. That's all my look. That's
God,
all my cousins and friends
yes.
would say. Yo, you bugging. I'm like,
Wow.
what?
What part? What part
Well,
of
listen, so I
it?
used to go to Harlem. Like we lived,
Okay.
my cousin lived on 141st and Lenox,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But my friends lived in the Bronx and Brooklyn. It was like all I
Okay.
remember is the number two train to
Yep.
Utica, Schenectady, what is
Yep.
it, President Street and stuff
Yep.
like that. So,
Yep.
I would
Brooklyn.
go there. But that was so funny. And I'm gonna tell you what's even funnier and sad.
Yes.
So, I don't mind sharing my story. So
Yeah.
I got pregnant at 17. And the
Uh-huh.
guy that I was pregnant by for the longest time, right? Now, mind you, I was
Uh-huh.
17, so
Yeah.
underdeveloped emotionally, all that stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Girl,
Yes.
so
Yes.
for the longest time, I told him that I was born in Harlem Hospital. And like, so all that.
Um,
So then when I finally
all that.
had
All
my
that.
baby, right?
Yeah.
When I had my baby, I had to
Yeah.
fill out the birth certificate. And when I filled
Yeah.
out the birth certificate, he was like,
Oh,
wait,
Lord.
that hospital is right downtown Baltimore. I was like, yeah, I was born in Baltimore.
Wow.
Girl, it was
Wow.
so crazy.
Wow.
Girl, I was
Hilarious.
always doing something. But yes,
We all were. We
girl, it
all
is
were. I
so.
said we all have a past. So
We
I'm like,
all have it.
I tell
Absolutely.
people, if you had to learn from your experiences. You know what I mean? To
Absolutely.
learn from that. But I mean, to move forward, your latter years are your better years. So if
Come
you
on
don't like who
now.
you are right now, change it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Don't get caught up in what you did at 2 because someone took your bike at 5. Can we move
Oof.
on? We have to move
Girl, you
on.
are
The kids
so
use that
all
as
on
no
my
excuse.
language and my street. I am
And it's just
loving
like,
this.
so I'm just, yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Wait, girl, I'm loving it too. How about that? So for me, I'm just like, I just had a conversation with somebody last week. He was like, I really don't like what my life is. Like, okay, so change it. I'm like, "No, see, this one is, this one, I said, no, I said, we're going to take all them out of it. We're going to leave it on you.
So yeah,
What
what
did
part
you
of New
do?
York are you from?
I'm from the Bronx.
Okay, okay, there we go.
Went to school with J-Lo. She was in my class.
Okay.
Catholic school. Then went to public school. And the Catholic school people were very racist, unfortunately. You
Oh
know how
yeah.
that
Well,
goes.
I
But
mean,
okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what it is. So, they always put the people in public school. But they said if you act up, we're gonna put you across the street. We're gonna put you across the street with the animals. That's what
Oh
they
wow, that's what they
said.
were called.
That's what they would say. That's what they would call them.
Oh
So when my parents
wow.
took me out of Catholic school and put me in public school, I didn't want to get out of the car because when you're young, you're impressionable.
Right, right,
We're
right.
in
And you
third
think it's
grade,
really
fourth
animals?
grade,
Like you think
and
you're
I
gonna
really
get
think
beat
it's like
up? It's gonna
animals.
be
I'm like,
yeah,
Mom,
yeah,
Dad,
yeah.
like, why would you put me there? But at the end of the day, it was the best thing that they've ever done. And the principal was African American, of course, so he did not play any of those rain day games. Both our principals, sixth grade and also being high, and he was just like really strict on getting
Wait a
things
minute, was
done.
he?
I
Was
learned
he?
to
Wait a minute,
write.
was it? What's that stuff? What was that movie done? Was he? Was Joe Clark?
Yes, very. Oh, yes. Dr. Brindle, oh yes, very much so. We had assembly every Saturday, every Tuesday. Seventh grade had Tuesday, eighth grade had of course Wednesday, and then ninth grade had Thursdays. Everybody had to be pristine. He didn't play lateness.
But you know
My father
what?
would,
You know what, Janine? Just hearing
yeah,
that, that man was setting you up for greatness because
yes,
even though you might have been going
yes,
to that
Lord.
Catholic school and stuff like
Yep,
that, baby, they weren't
yep,
giving you character. They weren't giving you
exactly.
personality. They weren't giving you
Nothing,
culture. They wasn't. And
nothing.
sometimes we get upset with
Absolutely,
those people who are giving us charge to be
exactly.
accountable. But we
Hmm.
look back
Exactly.
as an adult and go, oh my gosh, I wish either
Yes,
they were around or just want to give
yes,
them their flowers because if it
yes.
were
Oh
not
my
for you,
God.
I wouldn't be the strong
It wouldn't be
individual.
the person.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. And these are like grown men, even now. I think he passed like maybe 5 years ago.
Hmm.
And they have been like, oh my God, she passed away. Like they are like on it like a hornet. Like, like they always say they're strong men because of him.
Right.
He taught them, what to do. I had did a birthday party for a girl from Brooklyn. This was about 2 months ago. No, it was in
Hmm.
August. Yeah, about two
Hmm.
months ago. And I'm setting up this and the other, and her husband comes into the living room, whatever, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!" I did a whole dessert bar, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing, amazing!" I was like, "Thank you so much." And I said, he goes, "You from New York?" I said, "Yeah, I'm from New York." And he goes, "What part?" I said, "The Bronx." He goes, "I'm from the Bronx." I said, "What?" We went
Yes.
to the same high school, and
Wow.
he also junior high school. I don't remember him from anywhere. And I said, wow. And
Wow.
we were talking about Dr. Brindle and how he said he was doing Lyft in New York and how he picked him up. And how he took him to his barber and
Wow.
ended up becoming the best of friends. And he goes,
But
I
you
was the
know,
last one
everything
to
is
see him.
aligned.
Yes,
Everything is aligned anyway,
but
though.
you
So
never
that conversation
know.
and that meetup with
Ah,
him was supposed to happen.
exactly. So it was perfect. Right on time, we talked about, things he used to tell us and how the boys was like, they were scared of him. They were more scared of him than their own parents.
He was
You know what
Joe
I mean?
Clark for real.
And yes, oh my gosh, he was very, and his voice was very, yes. And very deep and very, yeah, you would be scared too. So,
But
it's
see,
just
you
one of
know
those
what's so funny
things.
though? What we were talking about just earlier about giving
Yes,
opportunity and stuff, right? Like that
yes,
man probably doesn't even know, especially, with him passing and
yes,
everything, he probably never even knew how much he was appreciated and how much he
yes,
actually poured into the next
exactly.
generation. Something
Right.
that we should be doing
Hmm.
anyway. Like we should be the Joe
Anyway,
Clarks, you know what I
thank
mean? But
you. I
society has made
agree.
it a little difficult because if
Yes,
you're a Joe Clark, you might be facing some
come on now.
time, you know what I'm
Come
saying?
on now.
And
With these
but you
rules
always,
and
but at the same
regulations.
token, we talk about the generation that's here and what they're not
Right.
like and what they're not doing, but we have to be a part of helping
Of
to
it.
yeah, helping to pour back
Just
into
to
them
pour back
so that they can
in.
be what we need them to be.
Yes,
You know what
it's
I'm
like,
saying?
and don't be scared to do that. And it's not, and I think, people are so sensitive these days, right?
Yeah,
Don't be sensitive to my kids like that. And I'm just like, it's not even about that. It's more or less about, I'm on you because I see better in you. Because
I
when
see
I
that all
left,
the time. Yep.
the job, it's like, and I end up working with the DOE in the after school program. I went to my boss after the first day and I said, I don't know if I can do this. And she
Wait,
says, no,
wait, 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 Janine, stop playing. Are we cut from the same cloth? Listen, I worked at the after school program for my daughters after school. I came there the
wow.
first day, and honestly, listen, this is true story. I went there the
Wow.
first day, and I was like, oh, I ain't gonna be here after Christmas.
Yes.
The second day, look, the second day I went in there, Janine, I was like,
Oh,
I ain't gonna make it to the end of the week. The
come
next day
on.
I came in, I gave them my badge and was like, nah, that's all right. I'm out. That is so for real. I was like, I ain't gonna be able to do this. Nope.
I know that's right. I was
I've got
like,
to I've got to find other
mm-mm.
means and measures by which
Yes,
to help our youth. And I say that
yes,
because when you
Mm,
we're going to talk about this a little bit before we get ready to,
yeah.
I,
Wrap it
I
up.
said there are other means and ways to
Come
assist.
on.
And the reason why it was challenging to help in such a program is
Yeah.
because when something is delegated or overseen
Mm-hmm.
by the government,
Yes.
their stringent
Yes.
guidelines really
Yep.
are not set up for you to help the people that you're supposed to be
Come
helping.
on.
So
Come
I was
on.
like, I'm not going to be able to do all this mess that
Right.
has nothing to do
To
with
do it.
pouring into these children. I'd
Yes.
rather do one on one pouring into a
Yes.
child than to be following all this systematic stuff that you have
Yes.
set in
Yes.
place that
Yes.
has
Yes.
absolutely nothing to do
Nothing
with
to do it.
benefiting them. I won't
Yes.
be a part of this
Yes.
monarchy.
It was just, I was just like, and I think for me, it was like, and I agree with you like 1,000,000%, hands down. The way the kids are raised today wasn't the way I was raised, right?
Not at
So when you
all.
want to come in and jump over stuff and don't listen, I'm like, I don't think I can do this. And
Yeah.
so the kids were really split to, there was like, I would say maybe 8 bullies and maybe like 20 like regular kids. So the
Hmm.
ones who were kind of like not bullying, but just kind of rough around the edges, I would say. Because I'm in the Bronx, close to Fordham Road, and it's just hood,
Hmm.
literally
Hmm.
hood.
Hmm.
But we had Master Chef programs and this that, and the other. Those kids, when I left, were crying that I was leaving.
And that's how it was at this after school program. And it
Yes,
was, in fact, my
yes,
daughter was in it. She was like, no, you've got to come back. They say you, and it's sad because
right.
they want this. The Bible
Yes,
says that people are
yes,
hungry for the living word. We think that people are
yes,
rejecting us and they don't want to hear
yes.
truth. They don't want,
Come
they
on,
do want to hear it.
they
So you
do,
kind of got to listen.
they
You got to like
do.
man up or woman up and be
Yes,
like, okay,
that's
listen,
it.
you know what? I have to watch my approach, but
Yes,
they want it. They want the truth. People
yes.
really don't want a whole
They,
bunch of fluff and bull. You
they
know what I'm
really
saying?
don't.
But because
They
they get
really
fluff and
don't.
bull so much, it's kind
All the
of it's kind
time.
of they're kind of leery when it
Yes.
comes because it's like I gotta feel you out and see if you the
Yes,
truth or
see
not.
if you're the truth or not. Exactly. But one day something had happened, one of my students, and
Hmm.
this is what changed everything. I think for them, not really for me, because I'm going to be where I'm going to be. But you're a teacher, so they just have this visual of you, you're the cooking instructor, and we have to be a certain way, and yada yada. And I get that. But anyway, this two girls were having a conversation, and she was like, "This boy, he wanted me to kiss him, and I didn't want to kiss."
Mm.
I think I slammed the door, and I said, "You know what? It went from cooking Janine, chef Janine, to hood
Hmm.
Janine."
Hmm.
And I just
Hmm.
said to them, I said, you know what? And there were a lot of females. And I called them all around and I said to them, I said, a boy or a man will never respect you if you don't respect
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
So once they did that, I said, wow, Chef Janine is gangster. I said, I can be. You know what I mean? But I said, you have a facade of me, and of course I have to, I'm gonna have a facade of you as well.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it went from cooking and baking to Stephanie, hey, what's going on? I'm going out with this guy. What do you think? And this and the other. So it just
Mm.
built a family. So those kids are now graduated from high school, and we're still in contact with each other. And
Hmm.
they call me ma, they call me grandma, they call me so many different names,
But the
and I
fact
love
that
them
you
so
poured
much.
into them, you have
Yes,
flowers that are now blooming
yes,
everywhere, right? And
and
what
I
you
love it.
did was you
I love it.
took the gift that you were
Yeah,
given for
yeah,
purpose and
yeah.
used it in purpose. You understand
Yes,
what I'm
all
saying?
yeah,
And
all praises to God, all praises to Almighty God, because He knew.
absolutely.
That's why He said, I said, no, I can't do this. He was like, no, you can do this. Never
Mm-hmm.
went to God. I just shut it down because I'm going by what I see, what I hear.
Absolutely.
Took him out of it. And he's like, no, stay there. I have something. They need you. They're
Mm-hmm.
waiting for you. You know what I mean? So when I
Mm-hmm.
look at it from that perspective, it's all praises to God.
Mm-hmm.
Just pour
Absolutely.
into them, pour into them, pour into them. And I said I said I was young, so I
Absolutely.
know I've had experiences. But you're gonna do what you want to do. I'm not gonna down you. I'm not gonna criticize you.
And see, but that's
You
the
and what
thing you
you
just
do.
said. You just said something. I'm not going to down
Hmm.
you or criticize you because that's what, and we can go here for a second.
Yes,
That's what church folk do, right?
yes,
But
all the time. Yes,
followers of the Lord Jesus Christ does not crucify people.
no,
He was
exactly.
already crucified
Thank
and
you,
bruised for our
thank
iniquity.
you,
He asked
thank
us to
you.
love. What the
Come on
problem
now,
is sometimes, Janine, is we don't know how to love. Why?
come
Because we
on.
taught that love is a feeling and emotion. It is a part of it.
It is.
But love is
Yes,
enduring. Love is
yes,
supporting. Love is
yes,
encouraging. Love is
yes,
inspiring. Love is holding people accountable.
yes.
Love,
Come
that's
together.
what love is.
Right,
And because
right.
people are not maybe used to what really love is they
Good.
get duped up by church folk
So,
that give
yep.
them religion, and
Yes.
then they shy away, push away,
They
or
don't push away.
reject. Listen, they
Come
reject
on.
the Father for what
Come on.
people did. So when
Come
people
on now.
talk about their church hurt, I'd be like, wait, 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 wait. I don't want to be, negative. I don't want to, like, be
Yes,
disrespectful to you, but
of
can we
course.
can we reframe that? Say that you were hurt
Yes.
by someone in the church,
In the church.
because if
Right.
you've accepted our Father, you are the church, and you should
Yes,
never
you are
want to
the church.
hurt yourself. So
Yes.
you was hurt by someone in the
By
church,
someone
but
in the
that's
church.
not church hurt. Do you understand
Yes.
what I'm
And don't
saying?
classify everybody. That means you're putting everybody in the same bag with them.
Absolutely,
And it's like
absolutely,
you have to get your relationship. Maybe that wasn't the church for you. You know what I
absolutely,
mean? You made a decision.
absolutely.
Maybe a great great grandma Pappy went on the left side, twice removed cousin went there, so
Mm-hmm.
you went there, and
Mm-hmm.
things have changed. It's about
Absolutely.
once you build that relationship, you'll say, you know what, God will tell you they're not really praising me here. You know
Well,
what
let
I
me
mean? This
ask you a
may not be the
question.
church.
Being from New York, I don't know where he's from
Yeah.
exactly, but what do you think about 2819? I've never attended, but I listen to the messages and I'm like, you know what? He gets it in. I don't know. I've never been, but I'm gonna say
Mm,
this. I'm gonna say this, and I know
yeah.
people gonna get me. Come for me if you want to. It is what it is. Y'all know that I love
Yeah.
Baltimore, know where I'm from, but I will
Come
go and
on.
sit under 2819 quick, fast, and a hurry before I sit
Yeah.
under Jamal.
Yeah. See, I've never been to 2819, but I heard about Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm like this. I don't know. Maybe I need to visit both, and then I can make a better, synopsis,
Listen,
right?
come back to the show after you make the visit.
How about that? That'll definitely work. That'll definitely work. But I did hear some preaching from the 28, and I was just like, wow, he's on it. He's on
Yeah,
it like I'm on it,
yeah,
like on it like I'm on it. You
yeah.
know what I mean? But
And what we
going back to
need for this time.
what we need for this time exactly, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
how my pastor is. It's very like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, preach, preach, preach all day, whatever. And sometimes people want, I like more of a teaching church than a
Mm-hmm.
preaching church,
Me
right?
too. Me
Because I
too.
need to find out what's going on. So, I mean, you can be falling out in tongues and the other, but I don't know if I don't know what you're saying, I don't know what you're drooling from the mouth. Like, okay, that's cute and all, because it visually looks great.
Right.
She, but my thing is, I need to learn the
How do I
word
live
and
after I
how it
leave out of
applies
here?
to me. You know what I mean? And how I can apply that word from Sunday during the week. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And every day just getting bigger, 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 and bigger. But more
Absolutely.
more like, coming with the Father, of
Now,
course.
Jenny, let me tell you what's so funny,
Yeah.
right? People
Hmm.
would think we knew each other from way back, but that's when you know that you try the spirit by the spirit and know that it's of God.
Yeah.
Y'all, I met her at and she was vending, and I had to
Yes.
go over there and get some of her
Yes.
tasty treats. And it's just that
Yes.
when you
You
live
sure
a
did.
certain way, right? And
Yes.
that when you live a certain way,
Yes.
and I'm going to say a way of truth, right? A way
Come
of
on.
real, a way of authentic, you know what I
Come
mean?
on.
Then
Come
those
on.
are the type of people that you'll draw or
Yes.
connect to.
That is so
Because I'm
true.
like,
Right.
listen, I know that
Yes.
had to be about probably
Had to
almost
be.
a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And to
Wow.
be
That's
able to have this conversation,
crazy.
yeah, to have this
That is
conversation even now
crazy.
is the
Come on.
attribute of when you know
Yes.
how to connect with
Yes.
people.
People.
That doesn't mean you have to be with them every day.
Every
That just
day.
means that you know that when
Come
your
on.
spirit connects with their
Come
spirit because
on.
they serve the same
Period.
higher
Hey,
spirit,
hey.
you're going to just
Come on.
go in and have a
Come
good
on now.
time
Come on now. And I would say God's timing his timing is impeccable. I say that.
all the time. I say it's
All the way on
intentional.
time.
His timing is intentional.
It's
It is
intentional.
purposeful
He's
and
like
intentional.
because you can do something like tomorrow or even a minute from now, but it
Hmm.
may not have no meaning. But if you wait
Yep.
in that waiting period, he's
Wait
working
on
on
the
you, preparing you.
Lord. Yes.
It's just a
Wait
whole
on the
nother vibe.
Lord. Yeah.
So for us
He
to meet
will
a year ago
renew
and
your
for us to be
strength.
talking now, come on.
Mm.
Come on now, Jesus.
Wait,
Come on,
I
Jesus. Come on,
say.
Jesus. Yes, baby.
Yes.
He's gonna work it out. He working it out.
Wait a minute,
Because
listen,
I
now you're
wouldn't
gonna make
I
me go into
we
another
don't
song. Jesus will work it out
come
if you let
on.
him. That problem that I had and I
Come on
just
now.
couldn't
Come
seem to
on now.
solve. What
You better
I prayed and I prayed
go.
and I
You
just
better
got
go.
more involved. And I
Yes.
turn it over to Jesus. I stopped worrying
Turn.
about it. That was my song. Turn it
Yes.
over to the Lord and
Girl.
he worked it out.
Work it
Listen, shout
out.
out to Kelly
Come on.
Alexander, who used to lead that song. I'm just saying.
Yes. Oh wow. No, I know that's right. Jesus will
Yeah.
work it out. He sure
If
will.
you, but
And
see,
he's
and
on
people
it.
miss this
And
part though, Janine. It said
if you
Jesus
let
will
him.
work you if you
If
let
you
him.
let them,
If
you
you
know what I
let
mean? It's
him.
so much deeper. That's why I'm like this. If you let them, like, come on now.
Yes,
And that's the thing. If you want to change, it starts with you.
it
If
does.
you let him do it, he's like. I know God be like, yo, you tie my hands. I don't want to do it this way, but you tie my hands.
Yep,
Why
yep,
you
yep.
have me in a box? Why you tie my hands? You don't even like to
Mm,
be tied up. You got me in. You don't want to be in a box, but you tie me up. And I'm all
listen.
knowing. I'm
And
all
listen, Janine,
powerful. I'm always
you
present.
don't even know that my whole ministry or my
Come
whole
on, man.
message, my
Come on.
whole started, everything is called out the box. And I put, we are
Wow.
born to be unboxed. That's my t-shirt that I have.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I
We born
love
to be
it.
unboxed.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So that's why I'm
Mhm.
like, at the end of the day, it's like, you want to have him. He's like, I know everything. I knew you before you were born. I know what you're going to do the next second, two
Absolutely.
months from now, 6 months from now, a month, a year from now. Like, why? All
Absolutely.
I have to do is pray to me. All I ask you to do is talk to me. Give me some praise. I'm like, if you can't praise God here on this earth, that's all you're
Mm.
going to do when you get to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Praise God. So you need to put that into practice now. But wait, you
Absolutely.
praise your job. You praise your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You do this. You do all these things. He's like, oh, really? Oh, that's what we doing? Oh,
That's
okay.
all I need. He's like, that's all I
That's
need.
all I
And that's
need.
not, and the thing
Simple.
about it is when you
Wait,
do it, this the wild thing. When you do it, it really benefits you. It's
you.
not even for me, it's for
Yes.
you.
And I said, our job is to get other people to get to heaven. So if you out there
Mm.
acting a fool,
Come on now.
my father always said, you want to hang with trash, you trash.
See, but see, that's the thing about a New
Even if
Yorker.
you're not.
That's the thing about no a New Yorker and a person from up
Yeah.
north. I
Yes.
get it here a lot. Oh my gosh, you're so direct. Well, I
Yes.
mean, what other way can
Yes.
you be? Like, I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
really feel like riding around Robin Hood's barn. Like I told you, I'm about
come
double
on.
nickels. I done rode around
Come
Robin
on.
Hood's barn for too long, and sometimes I got
Child.
lost. Sometimes there was other
Child.
detours. There was speed bumps.
Please.
Man, if I ain't got to do that, I
Please.
don't want to do that.
Free EE. Yes, I'm like, who wants to do that? I mean, you may like to do that. Good
Right.
luck with that. But for me, that doesn't. It doesn't work for me because I'm really
Absolutely.
really honest. But people, I always tell people all the time. A lot of people, they always like, oh my god, you're this and that. I said, you know what? I say what you're thinking.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want to say it, but you don't want to say it. So I said, okay, fine. Maybe I'll have to lower my delivery. Maybe my delivery is too harsh.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
like, I've always been like that. So
But
I'm just
then,
kind of like, and I
but
said,
the
I
thing
expect
about
you to
it
be the
is,
same for me.
But the thing about it is the people who appreciates that will
Right.
appreciate it. And yes, no,
Right.
you never water down who you are
Yes.
for somebody
Yes.
else, but
Yes.
you do make sure that, the world calls it reading the room. You do
Yes.
still make sure that the way you deliver it, it can
Yes.
be digested. Now, you
It can be
may not
digested.
like what I'm delivering.
Right.
Now, that's different.
Right.
Sometimes you're going to deliver something and you could have given it with flowers and some of your
Yes.
pastries and everything else, and they're just not going to receive it because they don't want to. And
Exactly.
again, another scripture, the Bible says, shake the dust off your feet. And
Yes.
baby, I know how to listen. I was a dancer, and I'm not talking about in the clubs or on the poles. I'm just saying
Come
I
on.
like to dance. So I know how to shake a
Yes.
tail feather and know how
Come
to
on.
shake my feet. Okay, so the
Come on
dust
now.
is gone.
Period.
Poof, be
And
gone.
that's it. And it's just a wrap. And that leads me to another thing. It's just kind of like, people, you're going on these journeys and God promised you this, that, and the other, and yada, yada. But you want to take everybody with you, and not everybody's supposed to be coming with you.
Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
like, leave them behind, and you just keep going.
And that's
And
a
you
hurtful
make your
feeling, but it
mistakes.
is what it is.
It
It's you got to
is.
deal with
It's
the
very
truth.
hurtful. But
You
you
get,
got to deal with it because he can
mm-hmm,
see further than we
mm-hmm.
can, right? So
Yep,
he's like, I'm taking you some places, but this person's not really for you. You can't see it because you're like, that's my friend from third grade.
yep.
You know what I
But
mean?
see, that's
You know
that
what I
goes
mean?
back to staying in places and doing
But
things and
staying
knowing your assignment and staying
exactly
too
and
long.
knowing your assignment and
Mm-hmm,
staying too long. So
mm-hmm.
once you know that, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna keep this pushing, and I'm gonna keep this pushing, and look, it's gonna be all good in the hood, and that's it.
Absolutely. That
And so for
part,
me,
that part.
it's all types of volumes, all types of volumes. Girl, I feel like I've known you for years.
I know,
Girl, this
I
is
know.
good
And see, that's
conversation.
good conversation. And I
Just
tell
good
people
conversation.
usually when I'm like, you come on, let's talk, let's get on a conversation. And they like, well, wait a minute, what's the interview questions? I said, no, no, I said conversation because see, what happens is we're losing that art of just having
Right.
good
Having
conversation.
conversation.
And everybody
Yep.
wants to have a interview. No, I
Yes.
don't really want to interview you. Now, in the conversation, listen to this though.
Yes.
If in the conversation you can give quote unquote your
Cool.
interview, right? Because you're
Right.
going to get the
Right.
information that you need in a good conversation. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? But me interviewing you, this is just how I feel. You know, everybody ain't got to come my way, but I just feel if I interview you, it's just less, it's
I
impersonable.
agree.
Right,
I
right.
agree.
I'd rather just
I
talk
agree.
to you, right?
I
You
agree.
feel more comfortable just
Oh
chilling
my
and
God.
laughing and
Yeah.
talking. Then, okay,
Yeah.
what's the next question?
Come
Sometimes, and
on.
let's just thinking about it, when we're talking about tests and interviews, what do we usually do? We clam up, we get nervous. But
Exactly.
when we
You
just
better
having a
preach.
conversation about ourselves and just
You
chilling,
better preach.
we
You
feel
better preach.
comfortable. And I'd
You better
rather
preach.
I'd rather people be comfortable in their connection in their
Come on now.
conversations with me. That's all.
Come on. Come on. You know what? I appreciate that so much because I feel like the person said, well, what's the interview? What's the question? You have the question, you fumbling over your words.
Yep.
You're like, well, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Can we, can you retake that? I don't like the way that sounds. Or I just feel
Absolutely.
like, you go through that. You're so busy focused on that. You're not really answering the
Yep. Absolutely.
questions, right, that are being asked. You're not being your authentic self, as you stated as well,
Yep.
because you're doing, what you do, or what you think you want to say, or how you think you may want to sound. And God's like, just speak.
Absolutely.
I gave you the
Look,
words to speak. Just
just
speak.
be.
Just
That
be,
part.
be you. You know what I mean? And
Yes,
not
be
like,
you.
rough, crazy, whatever. Because, it's just what it is. But, at the
Girl.
end of the day, very, very informative. Very great
Very,
conversation.
very.
And I feel like you should leave a conversation so you reflect back and say, gosh, that was a great conversation. I want to have another one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Adding to, building up to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I 100, 1,000, 1 zillion% agree with you. Like you said,
Come on.
when you have good conversation, you should leave invigorated, uplifted,
Yes. Uplifted.
encouraged, those
Yes.
things. That's how you know you've been in a good conversation. You know what I
All of
mean?
all the things, all of the things. It shouldn't be like, I always tell people you shouldn't be talking about the same thing 3 weeks from now that we talked about
I know
then.
that's
You know what
right,
I mean?
y'all. So listen, y'all, guess what y'all just got? All this good conversation.
I
Again,
know.
like I said, listen, y'all got
Yeah.
all sorts of nuggets. You got some
Yeah.
inspiration. You got a little rebuke and accountability, but
Yes,
that's
of
all
course.
good because it's all
Yes,
about you evolving into your best self. Why?
yes,
Because this is
yes,
D.O.D. Radio Network, and this is the station for your best self, your best life,
yes.
best radio. That
Love it.
part and say that.